Alright you guys, what's up? Welcome back to the channel. As you can see, we're gonna do a little discussion video, and I want to talk again about The Last of Us Part 1. If you've noticed, I've made a couple videos regarding The Last of Us Part 1 already, the remake specifically. The Last of Us Part 1 is a game that I truly love. It is one of my all-time favorite games of all time, and I'm sure that a lot of you guys can agree with that. And I remember back in the day when it had first come out, the conversation was, after it finished, that it was one of the greatest games, you know, in recent memory, possibly of all time. And you had such a great game with such a great story. And then there was talks of, you know, could there be a sequel? Could we possibly do a sequel or something along those lines? And the conversation at that time was, no sequel. Let's leave it as like a cliffhanger. Let's leave it kind of with our mind open. I'm not going to spoil anything, but like if you watch The Sopranos, you saw how that ended. It was very wide open. So The Last of Us was also very wide open like that, you know what I mean? So it left your imagination going like, well, what did Ellie do? Did she ever find out? Does Joel ever tell her? Are they actually happy and living where they're living? Or you know what I mean? You could explore options in your own head. Now, obviously the game was so big and it was such a huge success that, yeah, there was going to be a sequel. And they announced it. And when they announced it, everybody went nuts. They loved it. They were ready for it. Now, the conversation was also there still. And they said, you know what? This is awesome, but we don't want them to mess up what number one had. We got to be careful. Oh, like some people were like, well, you know, as excited I am, as excited as I am, I don't want it to be, you know, to ruin the Last of Us 1, or I'm a little scared. But there was praise and joy and everything. Why? Because Naughty Dog, they've been in the business for a really, really long time. They've done, obviously, the Uncharted series, the Last of Us series. They did, I needed to check, but they did the Naughty Dog, they did the Jack and Dexter series. So they're a famous company that they have history. Now, though, what my point to this video is, The Last of Us Part 2 is affecting The Last of Us Part 1 in a negative way. Because The Last of Us Part 2 was so huge and so controversial with so many issues and things that people didn't agree with, they didn't like. Me personally, I didn't like it. I enjoyed the gameplay. I enjoyed some of the hard decisions that Ellie went through. I enjoyed the seriousness, the death, the revenge aspect. I was enjoying the chase. I hated playing as Abby. I hated everything that had to do with Abby. I couldn't care less about her dumb character, in my opinion, and her dumb friends, and that stupid dog, all of them. I hated them. I hated playing as them, and I really hated having to deal with the little I forgot the name of the character with the sister. Like, I just didn't care for any of that. I didn't, and to this day I don't. And even to this day, when I think back on what happened on that lake or on that river, on that ocean, I wish I would have killed Abby, because that was when I was playing the game. I was like, kill her. And when she stopped, I was like, oh my goodness, no way. Maybe I was filled with revenge. Maybe I don't know. You know, everybody has their own opinions, and maybe you guys kind of felt the same way. Maybe you guys wanted to do that. But I'm not going to let what The Last of Us Part 2 or my opinions of The Last of Us Part 2 affect like some of the stuff that I'm thinking about The Last of Us Part 1. Now, the game isn't a new game. You know, Last of Us Part 2 or Part 1, came out when? For the PlayStation 3, and it was a pretty game, and it does still hold up. You know, like, you play it now. I've played it twice. I played it once when it came out, and I played it again during the when it was remastered. I played it a couple years back on the remastered version. So yeah, it does hold up, right? It holds up in a way, but it's not The Last of Us Part 2 in gameplay. It's not The Last of Us Part 2 in the way that it looks. I believe a story that good, a story that beautiful, should be told the best way that it possibly can be, and I don't think that that's the remastered version anymore, because it is an old game, and they're saying that they're building it from the ground up, right? They're making it basically The Last of Us Part 1 story with the graphics and everything that The Last of Us Part 2 had, which I think is a great improvement. And for me personally, I'm going to enjoy the hell out of it, and I can't wait to play it. And regardless of what I think of Last of Us Part 2, I don't want it to have a negative effect on what I'm thinking for 1. I got a feeling that if The Last of Us Part 2 would have been received better, if it would have been a very different story that people really enjoyed, like the majority of people, and it was fun and awesome, kind of like the first one, people would be eating up this Last of Us Part 1 You know what I mean? And if the price would have again been, you know, $69, what it is, yeah, there would have been some controversy, and that would probably be like some of the stuff that we're talking about. But right now, we're not just talking about the price. You're talking about, well, the price sucks, but we don't even need the story. Like, it's so dumb. It's a 10-year-old game. Like, I saw a video, and I'm not critiquing this guy and right now I forgot the name of his channel, but I saw a video that was talking about this, The Last of Us, and he said in his video, you're not gonna convince me otherwise that this is a good thing for gaming, and you're not gonna. You can't tell me that if this is the direction where gaming is headed, then I don't. Like, it was something like if this was the direction that gaming was headed, he didn't want to be a part of it or whatever. And I hate when, no, I don't hate, because everybody has their own opinions, but I don't agree with some stuff, because gaming is headed in every direction. You just had a game about a cat who's trying to figure out civilization. You have The Last of Us. You have something like God of War. I know older games that are there, you know. You have games coming out like the Callisto Protocol, which is something new. You got the reboot of Saints Row. You got the sports games coming. Gaming is everywhere, and it is going in all different directions. Some people are going to do some remakes. Some people are going to do some new IPs, blah, blah, blah. Gaming is going everywhere. You know what I mean? So it's like, I get the argument, but I don't agree with the argument. You know what I'm saying? Look, my point is, I made another video on The Last of Us Part 1, and I was ranting a little bit about how people were bitching about the price, and bitching about the story, and bitching about how they didn't want to see it. And I just thought, if you don't want it, don't buy it. You know, and that goes the case for a lot of things. We choose what to spend our money on, and it can be something stupid like that Thor poster, that Witcher poster, that Spider-Man poster, that Scarface poster. You know what I mean? The Madman in the back. Who cares about that stuff, right? Well, I do, and I like it. And you could go and you can buy a whole bunch of other stuff that I don't care for, but you enjoy. We choose what we want to spend our money on. So, telling you, you know, spend the $69 or spend the $70 on this Last of Us Part 1 remake, or don't, it's up to you, and it doesn't matter. For me personally, I'm gonna get it day one, you know what I mean? But some people won't, and that's okay. So I wish that The Last of Us Part 1 was getting the love that it deserves. You know what I mean? Because I just feel that, and some people are gonna disagree in the comments, say that I'm an idiot, or that it is, and that I'm missing the point. I think what it is that The Last of Us Part 2 really had a negative effect on The Last of Us Part 1. And, you know, probably everybody knows that, and maybe I'm just kind of coming to the realization, but I just believe that if The Last of Us Part 2 would have been as successful as 1 or loved as 1, it really wouldn't be hated so much in the sense of the Part 1 remake. And I just hate to see that it's affecting it, because The Last of Us Part 1 on its own is such a brilliant story, and I feel like it's forgotten how much of a good story it is. I really believe it's forgotten because of all this damn debacle about the 2. That it's like, you have great respect for a series like God of War, or great respect for a series like Uncharted, you know, great respect for a series like, I don't know, the original Modern Warfare. You know what I mean? You have respect for those types of series, and then you had respect for the series of The Last of Us. And then what happened with 2, which, you know, again, is it right or is it wrong? But now you lose some respect for Naughty Dog, the developers, and you lose some respect for Part 1, which was a masterpiece. Why? Because you don't agree with some of the takes they did. You know, I feel that's crazy, and I feel that's ridiculous. I don't agree with everything with The Last of Us Part 2. Absolutely, I was pissed the hell off. But it's not gonna cloud my judgment or affect what I'm thinking about Part 1. I'm excited to see it, and I hope it's good, and I hope they don't change too damn much. But again, it's just opinion based. So if you think, no, I wouldn't get it, it's ridiculous, all right. I don't know. I kind of went on a tangent here, but those were just my thoughts. This may be the last video that I do on The Last of Us Part 2. I mean, Part 1, until it's released, because then when it's released, I'll play it here. I hope I didn't ruffle any feathers down in the comments. I mean, I'm open for discussion. Thank you so much, guys. If you're new here, please consider liking, consider subscribing. We're trying to grow 2 years. We're at 300 subscribers. We're currently playing Stray. We're doing a little bit of God of War Ascensions, and we're doing, I don't know, we're going to do something else. So thank you so much, and I'll see you in the next video. All right, Oh shit, I don't got a shirt. Alright, welcome back, sorry. So I know the video's over, but this is about a day or two after I recorded it, and I was thinking about something that I wanted to add. It's very short. I saw that people were saying, or I saw this video recently that said this guy was shit-talking The Last of Us, saying how it didn't, whoa, is this the big upgrade? I don't see any big upgrade. It's embarrassing that this is the upgrade, you know, and I'm not trying to start a fight with anybody. I mean, I'm sure not enough people are going to see it to generate that, but in my opinion, I think that some people are just kind of shit-talking The Last of Us just because they think it's cool. They're like, well, you know what, 2 sucks, so I'm gonna talk shit about 1. I'm gonna get a bunch of viewers. One thing about me is you're gonna get my real and honest opinion about what I'm doing here, or my opinions on the games. I told you I didn't like a lot of things about Last of Us Part 2, and I probably would have never played that game again. But I love Last of Us Part 1, and I'm gonna replay the hell out of it, you know. So point is, he was saying like the graphics aren't that impressive. I mean, look at some of these, you know. Look at these. You can't tell me that this doesn't look, or it's not an improvement upon The Last of Us Part 1. Of course it is. Of course it is. 110% it is. And, you know, if you don't like the game, okay, but you can't say that this is it. This is the great upgrade. This isn't worth $70. Why not? If this game was just coming out right now, you'd probably pay $70 for it. You'd say, wow, this is awesome and the graphics are great. You know what I mean? That's just kind of what I was thinking. I don't want to go too far into it anymore. Thank you so much for watching. That was just kind of the last thing that I wanted to add. Let me know in the comments what you think. I know, again, you're gonna get my honest opinions, and I think the game does look better. And anybody that says that the game doesn't look better, I think you're being a fool. Like, I think you're playing around, because it clearly does. Thank you, and I'll see you in the next video.